Welcome to Oddball. I'm Amin Al-Hassan. That's Izzy Gutierrez. We are in Miami, in studio. I won't be in studio tomorrow. Look at this, little housekeeping. Let everybody know. Won't be in studio tomorrow because I'll be on my way to New York City to watch perhaps a funeral because the Indiana Pacers came up big behind Tyrese Haliburton. They beat the Knicks 130-121 last night. They now lead the series, the commanding 3-1 lead. One that has only been recovered from, Izzy, 13 times in the
all
history.
by Doc Rivers.
Against Doc Rivers, yes. Starting night, as I said, was Tyrese Haliburton, 32 points on 11-23 shooting, yawn, 15 assists, 12 rebounds, 0 turnovers. He's now third all-time in games with 15-plus assists and 0 turnovers. Only guys ahead of him, look at that list, have played 4 or more seasons. That's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive, man. Like, and to think about, like, when I thought about that game or watched that game and then thought about the 15 assist and no turnovers performance, I thought about the times where he was just caught up in the air, spinning around, looking for a pass. And I'm just like, every single time he found somebody. How is that possible?
It is incredible to watch. I guess the question is like, oh, is it fair to compare him to everyone who was ahead of him as a Hall of Famer pretty much? And then even the guy behind them, Steve Nash, is a Hall of Famer as well. Look, I think Haliburton is clearly, he's a special talent. I've been calling him the last hope for a couple of years now because he's that's the point guard position now. So it's almost extinct as far as someone who actually plays it that way. And he's kind of the perfect blend of doing that, but also being aggressive and scoring when his team needs it. So I don't think it's unfair to compare him. Obviously, it's very early in his career, but like while we're here, he's doing things that only those types of players have done.
Yeah, I think it's especially fair to compare, whether you want to talk about eras or maybe it's easier to score now or what have you. Doesn't matter. He put up those numbers early in his career. Yeah. So in theory, he could get better. More, he could have the 20 assists, 0 turnover games in the future. Maybe this is just him settling in.
I do want to point out one thing I don't like. I don't mind that. 15 assists, 15 or more assists, 0 turnovers. That's pretty impressive. What I don't like is when they said this, which is Tyrese Haliburton is the first player ever to have 30-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, 15-plus assists, 0 turnovers, and 5 made threes. As soon as they enter how many made threes are in there, get out of my face.
Yeah, that is eliminating a whole
it's just a weird cherry pick kind of stat, and then also only sneezed twice that whole game. You might it's dumb.
You could argue it's more impressive if he scored all those points without a single three, like going inside to the paint for every single time. So it's entirely unnecessary. Yeah.
For the record, Haliburton agrees. He says the cherry picking is a little overblown. Let's take a listen.
Ty, according to some of the research people are doing, the most assists ever in a finals game, conference finals, without a turnover, and also the most combination points, rebounds, assists, steals with no turnovers in a game ever. Ever. What is that? Did you know that? And what is that like to do that?
I mean, no, I didn't know that. I feel like we making up stats at some point to make me look better.
I love that. I love the reporter got just caught up in the air. And he's like, what's it like to do that? As if like there's a light that goes off over there. And Tyrese is like, I just did something that's never been done before.
You're doing it, Tyrese. You're really doing it. Am I, coach? Thanks.
You're really doing it.
I'm just enough, right? Like a guy knows if he got a 60-point game going, okay, right. But if it's like, you're the only one to have about 17 deflections along with
like you throw steals in there, it's a whole different. It's defensive side of the floor has nothing to do with your assist and turnovers.
It's just sure, whatever. Let's see here. Let's stop. Why stop at the NBA? Haliburton is hitting Tom Brady numbers.
What?
Put up those NFL stats for us. That's right. He threw for 444 yards on 77 passes. Eat your heart out.
All right,
Tom Brady.
Hold on. Is this like including yak? Like if he makes a pass and then somebody drives, toward the basket, and then does he get those yards? Or is it just
in the air? Just in yards in the air. Yeah,
even more impressive.
Because then otherwise you could just inbound the pass a guy and then he dribbles up court like there it is, 90 feet or 30 yards or whatever.
That's funny that it took a football quarterback type of game, but it honestly this was the least close of the game, right? Because the Knicks, you could argue going into these two games in Indianapolis, we're saying, oh yeah, we were right there in those two games. The series is really close. Now with that one game, it doesn't feel like that anymore. All of a sudden, even though the numbers are what they are, and it feels like the Knicks are going to get trounced. Are they on the brink here? Is this definitively the end of the Knicks this year?
And this year's Knicks, I mean, you know what? Like going back home, they've got a chance to win because of the home crowd. In the same way, do you remember when Jason Tatum got hurt at the end of game 4 and the Celtics are going back and we're like, okay, you guys aren't going to win this series, but
you can get the one.
You get the one, the pride win in front of your home crowd. Like, hey, we're not going to go out like that.
Right.
And then, they take us out back behind the shed afterwards.
Okay, so let's say they do that. They go to the, hey, we're not going to go out like that. Mm-hmm. What does that look like? Because so far, it feels like Jalen Brunson is a little bit exposed in this series. He's gone from like top of the league, I'd take him over any guard, to not just defensive liability, hasn't even been good in the clutch, and you could argue it's something of an offensive liability.
Hey, Izzy, do you think they trade him for Giannis now? Right now, we went to Knicks fans. We're like, look, the NBA is going to suspend all the rules. You've got an opportunity to go get Giannis right now.
I said 100 out of 100. In this scenario, 101 out of 100
There's a new fan walks up like, I didn't vote last time, but I'm going to vote this time. And I'm saying yes.
Is he, like, we already know he's a defensive liability, and we'll get to the idea of if your two best players are both one-way players in defensive liabilities, can you really build around that? But what are we learning about Brunson now?
So I would say that in this series, the matchup that favors them the most offensively is Karl-Anthony Towns. He's the one that's got an advantage. And so when you look at even last night's game, the one guy who was a positive in the plus-minus was Karl-Anthony Towns. He's got the advantage. The offense should flow through him, but Jalen Brunson has carried them to this place. So it's really hard to break that habit. The problem is this: Jalen Brunson, as a smaller guard, who is not explosive. This isn't Nate Robinson, right? Where he's blind.
Wow, that's the first name you came up with for an explosive guard.
or Isaiah Thomas, ISAIH Thomas, right? Where there was a quickness or speed element to their thing that made them hard to guard, right? He's a cerebral player, he's footwork, he's IQ, and as a result, it's like he is jiu-jitsuing his way to the basket or to the free throw line, but he's playing against a guy, Aaron Nesmith, who's not only big and long, but he's also really, really disciplined defensively. He's not falling for all the bullshit.
Yeah, Nesmith has by far done the best of anybody on the Pacers against Jalen.
And so as a result, you've got Jalen Brunson, who's kind of like in a bottle, and instead of getting off the ball and letting someone else, he's kind of, no, I've got to figure out this intellectual
pursuit. I don't know Jalen, but do you think that comes from like, hey, if I already know I'm a defensive liability, I've at least got to get the points up.
I got to contribute. And I think also, again, it's like the game has been a Rubik's Cube for him that he's been able to solve every single time. And now all of a sudden, Nesmith is the Rubik's Cube that will not get solved.
Yeah.
And so because he's a cerebral player, it's like, no, I can do this. Don't just give me a second. And as he's doing this, it's taking everybody else out of the flow.
Now, we've gone from, like you said, New Yorkers arguing that they wouldn't trade him for Giannis to now basically wondering if you can really win with whatever the 6'1", 6'2" point guard, because it's not just, defensively you're a liability. You're going to have the high usage at that rate. And if teams, the further you get in the playoffs, the teams are better at zeroing in on you. The teams are better at making life difficult for you. Can you actually win this way? And it's not just like if you say, hey, turn into a passer. Okay, if I'm Jalen Brunson and I do my work and I take that little sliver and I get in the lane and everybody's collapsing, I don't know if I can see the passes because I'm under all these bodies. And so I don't know if that is at least the way he plays, the next step or the step he can take.
I mean, look, the Pacers defense has been incredible. And a lot of that has to do with being able to game plan. We're not playing, Detroit tomorrow and 2 days later we're playing the Nets. Like, we're playing you over and over and over again. And so it's easier to find those tendencies, to hone in on them and zero in on them. But the other part of this is, I think if you're the Knicks, it's real easy for people like to kind of get flustered. Like, oh my God, this isn't working. What do we do? Right? Do we trade for Giannis? Can they make that rule, right? Realistically, they could be up 3-1 in this series. They're not that far off. They're definitely not that far off from being at least tied 2-2.
Yeah.
Right? They could be up 3-1, actually. And so they're not far off. It's not like, oh, this is never going to work.
No, but
it
still begs the question, though. They're not far off from beating the Pacers, but what we're watching is this, win or loss, the best version of the Knicks. Is this team currently hitting its ceiling? Like, they don't have another gear to go to, because the reason I mention this is because when you go, like I said, if your two best players, your point guard and your big man, who also are your best, pick and roll combination, when those two guys are one-way players, when they are both liabilities, the big liabilities on defense, then I don't think you can build around that. It's hard. You can to this level, but when you get to the conference championships and finals, will it be exposed?
Yeah, I think at some point or another, it's going to get exposed without some sort of fortune coming your way, right? You got to have some fortune in terms of, either I think the bigger issue is that the two of them offensively have not been dominant together in this series. That's a bigger issue, because if there was an unlocking of that, of a synergy and a chemistry between the two, and it becomes this unstoppable 1-2 duo, then it may not matter. Because look, as Dan D'Antoni, assistant coach for the Phoenix Suns, once said, like, hey, the better defensive team is the one that scored more points.
Yes.
Right? Like, if we score one more point than you did, guess what? We're better defensively than you were.
Basketball, just genius
sometimes.
Oh,
yeah. So like, but the problem with what's happening with the Knicks is you're not able to get the stops. And also, you're not even wowing offensively.
No, you're not wowing at all. Like, there's 17 turnovers in that game. And that was how many assists they had as well. That's the other thing. Like, you put the 15 assists to 0 turnovers versus 17 assists as a team to 17 turnovers. You look immediately to the point guard, and it is Jalen Brunson. But it feels like his responsibilities are so scoring-centered that he can't focus on avoiding the turnovers or keeping a good 3 to 1 assist to turnover ratio.
Which, by the way, is the whole point of the Karl-Anthony Towns trade, right? Was that so he doesn't have to be the hero that he was last year, where every possession had to go through him.
All right. Well, what do you think about this? Because, like you said, they could be up 3-1. They could at least be 2-2. Yeah. And yet right now we've got whispers, maybe a little louder than whispers, of people talking about maybe Tom Thibodeau's time could be done with New York. Maybe they need to make some tweaks and maybe look into, the cat trade rumors are just all over the place. But do you have any confidence that they can right the ship? And follow me on this one. Do you think Tibbs should just go, like, I don't know, just change up and go small? Just go Cat at the 5 and just go small. McBride, Brunson, get Josh Hart out of there. Give me your best shooters, maybe OG. And
that's how we started the series.
Okay.
Right?
But I'm saying for long periods of time, basically just try to match them at their game.
Brunson, Hart, Bridges, OG, Cat. That was the lineup that we said is a worse plus-minus net rating than the Utah Jazz.
Right. I'm saying go even smaller. Like, take out Josh Hart, which I guess isn't really size, or take out Anunoby, if you will.
Put Miles
and put McBride in there. Just put a couple of shooters in there and see what you can do.
I think here's a problem. Yes, and also no, because now you're really playing into what Indiana wants. Indiana wants to make this a track meet, right? They want to make this a track meet where they're both running the 100-yard dash and the marathon. Because, if you listen to them talk, it's very interesting to hear every one of the Pacers talk about this series in terms of days. Day 7 of 13. Day 7. What they're doing is they're saying, we're going to wear your ass out. We're going to run fast, but it's also the cumulative effect of you guys don't have enough horses. And so we're going to run your ass ragged. And as a result, I think if you go small, you're taking away your one inherent advantage, which is Indiana's a terrible rebounding team. You're supposed to be assaulting them on the offensive glass and going back and playing volleyball up there. And instead, you're not able to do that. If you go small, now you're playing into their strengths. They do that a lot better than the Knicks do, I think.
Yeah, I think one of the other added benefits of going small, if you just say, hey, Cat, you're at the 5, we're going to race, we're going to go up and down. Gets a little tired, take him out earlier. Less Cat minutes, and you're probably better off, right? Yeah. You don't have to have Brunson and Cat out there
How
at the same
about more Mitchell
time.
Robinson minutes? You only had 18 minutes last night. Right. So, again, there was much to do about, we're going to start him, but doesn't mean much if you're not playing him that much, right?
Yeah, I think it's the last switch or change up that Tibbs has, and I wouldn't mind seeing it, especially at home.
All right, I have to get, I have these group chats with all these Knicks fans, and we're producer Gabe is a huge Knicks fan.
That's our fault.
And they want to know why anyone isn't talking about these refs and how bad the refs were. And in the fourth quarter, they called 4 fouls within 12 seconds of game clock. Can we talk about how bad these fouls are? And he said this, and I was like, I didn't realize. I went back and I watched the fouls, and
all fouls.
They're fouling. What do you want?
Yep. And look, it drives me up a wall that Karl-Anthony Towns, man, first of all, you have the reputation, not even a reputation, it's a fact. It is a fact that you foul a lot and they're silly fouls in the playoffs.
Yep.
So when you grab a dude by the wrist right in front of the referee so that everybody can see, it's like you're dancing with them and it's just like you release them and you're coming back in. Like everybody can see it. It's illegal. Oh. And then you complain about it, you lose all credibility, my dude. It feels like you have no idea what you're doing and you have no control over your limits.
He's doing the Dave Chappelle. I didn't know I couldn't do that.
No, it's more like I didn't know that I did that, because when he gets guys in headlocks and all of a sudden it's like, what did I do? It's like, do you not have control of your arm? Is it that other skit where it's like a criminal's arm amputated, or your arm is amputated, a criminal's arm's added to yours and you have no control over it? Because that's what it feels like when he's playing. It's crazy.
And that criminal is Draymond Green.
Right. And the Knicks fans have nothing to complain about.
Hey, let's talk about art next.
Okay.
You like art, right?
Art Kehoe? Some of the flopping in this playoffs kind of been incredible.
Magnificent. Chef's kiss.
Oh, so you're with me, Ralph?
I'm 100% with you.
I've absolutely flipped on this. When you've got a dude who can, while playing basketball, get the other guy's arm and punch himself in the face.
Yeah.
Like that's beyond basketball. That's practically art.
It is art. It absolutely is an art.
I wish we knew somebody who could sort of look at that and say, hey, when that guy poses like that, what does this do to the game of basketball?
I know a guy.
Oh, okay. Oh, hello.
Hello. Hello. Welcome. Hello.
Akbar's back, baby.
Yes.
I don't know if you know, can we introduce yourself, Akbar Domestique, please?
I am Akbar Domestique. I am #1 artist in the world. Really.
If you don't remember Akbar, perhaps this phrase will jog your memory. To you, Al Horford.
Oh, it's to you, Al Horford. Oh, I was so happy. I was so happy when he lost. He looked sad. Shut up. I was so happy. Oh my God.
I can't wait till we get that statue up in front of the Kaseya Center. But so we were talking about the foul baiting, if you can follow me here, Akbar, and it's become, the expertise has almost become masterful. It's almost become works of art, okay?
Foul.
So when you're playing basketball, when somebody hits you, you're not allowed to, okay.
Yes.
So foul baiting.
The other word?
Baiting or foul merchant?
Foul merchant. I know very much merchant.
Okay.
Sell my art. Yes.
Foul merchant. Yes. All right. So we actually sort of broke this down in ways that you could look at it as art. And we just wanted to get your analysis on all of this.
Because you know art. Yes. All right. Very good. #1 artist.
So here's our first work of art. We're going to have to nail these. So this is the one I was talking about before you got here, Akbar. Jalen Brunson is taking a man's arm and punching himself in the face. And then here's where the artistry happens, Akbar. Both players flop.
Yes. I like very much composition. Left, right, two, and then both go, ah! But I wish like it is transition. I don't like half. So it's good art.
This needs to be moving art.
Yes,
you're saying it's not a painting.
Yes, not painting, not statue, which is my.
It's your specialty, of course. Okay, well, let's go to the next one. Yes. So this is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He is falling in such a way that just evokes a certain emotion. How would you describe this one, Akbar?
This is called the last gasp for freedom. He is not breathe, and the foul take his breath, and he's like, one more time, and then he go, and then he shoot free throw.
Bank.
Is it bank?
Got it in. I think he got it in. He's holding his stomach like, the pain.
They already sell?
No. I'm saying I think that's what happens.
Oh, okay. Because you say bank, I say, you already got the money for it.
No, congrats. Not that kind of bank.
Congrats.
It's the window, the glass that he throws it off of.
Microsoft window?
Yes. Let's move on. All right. So what are we calling this one?
That I call last gasp for freedom.
Gasp. So the next one, let's go.
What do we have here? It's
our same guy, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander here. Now this one has more of it's a lot of movement involved, right? There's I don't know what style you would call this, but he's definitely got the flair. It's almost as if we call this one maybe the Invisible Man, because there's a man behind him that's making him do all of these things.
I go very long time ago to Moscow, Russia, and I see in the theater Baladance.
Ballet dancers.
Ballet.
Yes, yes,
This
yes.
is ballet.
Ah, yes.
Barishnikov. You know Barishnikov. He's like this. This should be how you say for NBA. The picture they say, oh, the NBA. Oh, fantastic.
How would you fantastic for
Yes.
domestique? How would you call it? What would you say about the technique here? Like, what kind of strokes is he using to get his body in that sort of?
He's channeling, like I say, great ballet gymnast, maybe Nadia Comaneci, something like that.
Okay,
I like it.
So, all right. So let's go to the next one.
Okay, what we got?
Ooh, if that one was maybe the invisible man, this one's more like the floating man.
Yes.
We've got Nikola Jokic taking what seems to be a foul from James Harden and then just levitating over the surface like a magician. What would you call that?
I grow up in very bad place. They have a lot shoot. They call I don't know, they have shoot. They are in tower. They see
Sniper.
Sniper. This is called
Yes.
the revenge of the sniper because he and Jokic go he falls down.
So but this isn't just falling down. This technique is falling down through the air
High
so that you
velocity.
have high velocity,
High
so that you have a
velocity
lot of
bullet,
distance
yes.
to come down.
Yes.
It's very dangerous. It's a very dangerous form of art.
He have enough cushion for fall. He feel okay.
That's a good strategy.
Yes.
So if you have less cushion, like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander,
you're
then
very
you don't do
dangerous.
that.
Yes,
you don't do that. Okay, well, let's go to the next one then. One of our favorites here, Jalen Brunson.
Okay.
You got Jalen Brunson here. We don't know what happened here. The ball is approaching the ground. I'm not sure what this technique is, but he's got both hands in the air and he's vocal. He's yelling.
This called Die Hard. You watch movie Die Hard of Bruce Willis?
Yes.
And the explosion and then he jump. Nakatori Plaza was the name of the building.
Detail.
Yes, I'm very big movie. I like movie. But yes, he's explodes behind and he jump. He's a hero. He's a hero.
So the ball is the explosive in this situation.
Behind.
Behind.
And
so he's
jump.
going to protect the ball.
He jump, yes.
So what is this technique here by Jalen Brunson? How does he make this art?
Well, it's the same way, it's great art. Sometimes painting, sometimes statues, sometimes Die Hard. You see that?
Die Hard,
that's what they call Die Hard.
All right, last one. We've got. This is art.
برافو يا سلام عليك والله أحلى من أحلى the great painting in the world. You see, I'm hurt. Is everybody watching? I love this. This, we hang it right now in the Louvre in Paris. We say there, I took French for 2 semesters in University of Khartoum. And I learned that the best painting in the world, it goes in the Louvre. And this one right here, hang it in the Louvre.
This technique, we call it, see if you're with me on this one, ass on.
La. This is called peekaboo. The peekaboo. I see you.
By the way, I see you, and you're just going to have to stay here with us because we got to do the rest of the show. You okay with that, Akbar?
Yes, it's good. Yes.
All right. It's time for Iciest Play of the Week. Akbar, do you like Jägermeister?
I love Jägermeister.
Of course you do.
But only is it if it is ice cold.
Oh, that's great. Because the Iciest Play of the Week is presented by Jägermeister. Serve it cold or don't serve it at all. Jägermeister. Damn, that's cold. For more, visit Jägermeister.com. Drink responsibly. Today's Iciest Play is Tyrese Haliburton co-opting a celebration, I guess, again. He hit a deep three over Brunson, and then Brunson does the thing where, so it starts off as a three-pointer is eating my face.
Yes.
But then he kisses it away, like he saves his face from it. And so he not only did Tyrese do that, and we don't have a frame of this, but seconds later, he gets absolutely trampled by his own teammate. And then he kind of looks around and he's like, I messed up that moment, didn't I? Pretty embarrassing. But what do you think?
In my culture, we have something called الحاجة اللي بتحصل لك هتحصل لك حاجة كعبة شديد.
No, I don't think you can say that again.
In الحاجة اللي بتحصل لك هتحصل لك حاجة شديد.
No, sorry, I'm wrong.
لكن in English it is translate karma. Karma. It hit him طوال immediately. Karma. Karma.
Instant karma. That's when the
Instant.
sniper came and took him out.
Well, it's not sniper.
No,
it, was,
it wasn't sniper.
It was,
a tank.
It was Mack truck. Mack truck. Is that what they call it?
Mack truck, or was it a Matherin truck? Was it Benedict
he
Matherin?
Hit him.
What do we like? What is the favorite of this, the 3-point celebrations? Mine is when it stays on the face. It's the 3-pointer ate my face. It's had a little bit of bang going on.
Kissy, but sometimes big kiss.
That's Jason Tatum.
Yes, or when you Al Horford is there. You
Yes.
say goodbye, Al Horford. Goodbye, mother.